All right, a huge development in the Rebecca Park case. Her biological mother, Cortney Bartholomew, has now been taken into custody and officially booked in the Wexford County Jail in Cadillac, Michigan. This just happened late tonight, according to the newly released jail records. This means that now 3 of Rebecca's family members are behind bars: her biological mother, her sister, and her sister's fiance.
New developments in the case of Rebecca K. Park. It is confirmed Rebecca's mother, Cortney, and Cortney's partner, Brad, are both in custody this morning. At the moment, it's unclear if their arrests have anything to do with Rebecca and or her baby's disappearance and or if law enforcement has just brought them into custody and are charging them with something as leverage to get them to turn on each other or to talk.
Even though I just did a video last night on this Rebecca Park case, already another update. Cortney and Brad have been arrested. Today was supposed to be their arraignment, and they pushed it back. I'm going to tell you why they pushed this back. Welcome to Fugitive TV, and I'm your host, Ray Marcel, where we look at all these cases from a different perspective in life, because I was once a fugitive on the run, and I was once doing time, and everything's better now. I'm talking to you guys and trying to help out the next person. But we're talking about Rebecca Park. There's a major another update, okay? Even though I did a video last night I did a video saying they were searching the property, and that Brad, who is the stepdad of Rebecca Park, was pretty much leading detectives and police through the property and outside in the forest and mountains and everything else you can think of, like they were searching for things. All right. Well, today, Cortney, as of last night, which is Rebecca's mom, has been arrested. Okay. She's been arrested. So prosecutors delays arraignment for Rebecca Park's mother and stepfather. Wexford County, Michigan, Cortney and Brad Bartholomew appeared Monday in Wexford County's 84th District Court. They were scheduled to be arraigned on charges, but the prosecutor asked to delay the arraignment until Tuesday because of a complaint that was not yet ready. The prosecutors requested that both suspects be held without bond due to the severity of the case. Courtney and Brad Bartholomew are now scheduled to be arraigned on Tuesday, so it will take place tomorrow. The biological mother and stepfather of Rebecca Park, Courtney and Brad Bartholomew, are both currently in custody. And then it says an autopsy confirmed that the body found was hers. So we know that from the last video that they did. And then also talks about how the volunteer searchers discovered her body. Brad, who was Courtney's boyfriend, fiance, whatever you want to call him, who was Rebecca's stepdad, has been arrested as well. All right. Here's Brad's old Department of Corrections, because he's been to prison, of course. So this is his Department of Corrections record, where he was sentenced to not 1, not 2, but 3 different criminal acts on a person that's underage. He was also a PDF file. Now, there was supposed to be an arraignment today for them. Now, some of you people probably don't know what an arraignment is. Arraignment, it usually depends on where you're at, but most of the time that is your first court appearance. Some jails, some counties, some states, you have to do a first court appearance before you can get a bond. That's how some places are. Other places are different. I remember when I got arrested my first time, the cop was able to give me a bond right then and there. Actually, he told me what the bond was right then and there. So I was able to call people, let them know, hey, my bond is this much. It was high, but still, I was able to know what my bond was. Some other places, you don't know what your bond is until you see the judge. So there was always like a little saying that if you ever got in trouble, don't go to jail on the weekends, don't go to jail on Friday or Saturday, because some places you don't see a judge. If you go to jail on a Friday, you don't see a judge till Monday, which means you got to spend the whole weekend in jail and you can't get out. So they postponed their arraignment, which could be their bond hearing, and also when the judge reads off whether they're being charged for. Because as of now, nobody as in the public knows what they're being charged for. Well, the reason why they postponed it was the prosecution. The prosecution postponed it. They said that the complaints have not been filed yet. Well, when this happens, okay, usually they're quick to file a complaint. They'll file that within minutes. But a lot of times when this happens, it's because they're trying to gather more evidence. They're trying to make sure something can come in time. So because they have a certain amount of time there's a certain amount of time they have to charge someone before they have to let them go. They can't just hold you in jail with no charges. So they only have a certain amount of time to hold you in jail before they can let you go. Now, here's a key piece. Now, last night when they were searched, because they searched Courtney's house. Now they did bring out evidence bags. Nobody knows what evidence is, but they brought out bags of evidence. They also took 2 vehicles away from Courtney's property. So they took 2 vehicles away, and of course they did that to make sure that they want to look for any DNA evidence, any splatter. Is there any weapons that could have been used to unalive her? Not only that, but when they found Rebecca, everybody knows that she was pregnant, right? But when they found her, she was gutted. So they took the child out of her. But they don't know if it was done while she was alive or after she passed. That part nobody knows. So they're going to look for evidence of that. Also evidence of a child, where this baby is at. So they took all this evidence away, and now they're collecting and all and investigating the evidence. Now there is an autopsy that's being performed. The autopsy has already confirmed that it's Rebecca. So they could be waiting for the actual cause of death, because sometimes what they'll do is they will call up the medical examiners. They have their personal numbers. They'll call them up and ask them how much longer you think it's going to take for toxicology and stuff like that. And if they're not backlogged and busy, they can tell them, oh, it's going to be a few more hours, or we'll have it tomorrow by this time. So they could be waiting on that too. But I guarantee you they're waiting on whatever this evidence that was found out of the property, the cars, and maybe also the autopsy report. Because the autopsy report is going to prove if and how she passed away. So if they're going to charge her with an M1 charge, an M2 charge, and that state even goes to M3. Or will it be a M slaughter charge too? Because you have M slaughter. Was it a mistake? Were they trying to, let's say, maybe cut the infant out of her? And next thing you know, she passed away. Could that be M slaughter charge? We don't know. It all depends on what the district attorneys want to do, right? All right, so let's all picture this. Who's all in jail right now, right? You have Rebecca, whose body was found. First people arrested was her sister, Kim, her baby daddy, Richard. Those are the first 2 that were arrested. And let's not forget, Richard is also the ex of Courtney, who is Rebecca's mother. Courtney just got arrested, along with Brad, who is Courtney's um boyfriend or fiance, whatever you want to call him, who is also Rebecca's stepdad, if you want to call him that. So those are the people who are currently in jail. You have the sister, the mom, the stepdad, and a baby dad. Pretty much the whole entire intermediate family is in jail for, because of Rebecca and what happened to her. Now, Rich, he has no charges against him so far that we know of on Rebecca. His charges are selling to an undercover police officer. But I'm willing to bet they did this on purpose and arrested him on purpose because either he knows something or they want to get something out of him. And that's why they're hitting him with that life charge, because he's an habitual offender now. So he's got life hanging over his head. So let's say he wasn't directly involved in it, but he knows what happened. They can use that. That's their leverage. Use that as an advantage. Brad is actually being held at a different county jail than the rest of them. His county jail is so tiny. I'm going to show you guys. And I do know a lot of times, if one jail is very small, a lot of times they'll take the, let's say, star witness or the witness of the DA, they'll take them and put them in a different type of jail, especially if that first jail doesn't have any type of protective custody, then they'll put him in another type of jail. So could be a reason why Brad is separated from the other 3. And I've said this already. I think Brad is probably spilling the beans. He's singing, he's doing his Mariah Carey up in there. I think that's what he's doing. A lot of people believe Courtney is the ringleader. So if Courtney is the ringleader, it would make sense for Brad to be telling on Courtney and everybody else. So Brad was transferred to a different jail, which I'm going to pull up. This is the jail that is currently where Courtney is at. I believe Kim is there. who's Rebecca's sister, and Rich, who is Rebecca's boyfriend. So as you see, this jail is not that big. This is actually one of the smallest jails I've ever seen, to be honest with you. So you might have maybe one woman's pod, maybe two women's pods. That's it. 3, 4 different, because you got to think, you got to have not only the pods, right? Or the wards, pods. All right, so pods include cells. So you have a pod, and a pod might include it depends on the jail. It could be anywhere from 5 to 30 different cells. Some might even be 40 cells. So it just all depends how big it is. So you have to have that. Then you have to have the front office. Then you have to have a kitchen, laundry facility. Yeah, this place is tiny. Now I don't know what this building is right here. But yeah, that place is really tiny. Actually, let me see something real quick. I'm curious. Did they even have a fence? This jail don't even have a what? Oh wow. This jail, it doesn't even look like they have a fence around it. This looks like a high school or a school. No way. Sorry, people. I'm totally shocked that this jail. Let me make sure this is a jail. Hold on. Let's make sure. Sheriff's office and jail. Unless there's two separate places, I will look. But this place doesn't even have a fence around it. Let me double check to make sure it's another location because I've never seen a county jail without protection around it. Interesting. And just to give you an example, this is where I spent a lot of my time when I got in trouble. In the El Paso County Jail in Colorado Springs. You see how big this place is? Look at this. Compared to the jail that you just saw, that jail you just saw was just a fraction of the size. And I can tell you firsthand that you have different pods in this building, you have different pods in this building, then you have a lot of pods in this building, and you have process, you have the kitchen across the street right here. You're going to have offices and stuff for the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. Yeah, totally different than what you see at that last place. As you see how big that is? That is humongous. And this is what I mean by protective fencing. As you see here, you have barriers. See the cameras right here that's highlighted. You have fencing. This right here is a new part of the jail. These little windows right there, those are actually cells. Sorry, they're open wards, and you can look out those windows. It's like 30 people into a ward pretty much. They're like open like dorm style in that area. But as you see, all this is fenced off. All behind a fence. That last one you saw, if you get out the door, you don't have to worry about jumping the fence. And this is where Brad is supposed to be held at. Misaki County. If I'm pronouncing that right. You guys let me know if you're from Misaki County. This is a small jail too. And actually, this jail's it's surrounded by a neighborhood. But this is a tiny jail too. Oh wow. Oh wow. Yeah, this jail. You literally have homes across the street from the jail. Wow. Yeah, this jail is tiny too. And that's where Brad's being held at right now. This little tiny jail reminds me of one of those like little Marbury shows. Imagine being arrested, getting in trouble here. But anyway, I want to give you guys this quick update. Video's not long. Please like, subscribe, turn on your notifications. If you guys know anything else more about this case, let me know. Fugitive TV. Let me know what city you're from. I'm out.